Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Wrestling is Her. I'm your host, Raja, and I'm joined by my sleep-deprived co-host, John.
Oh, the sleep nap you can muster.
Oh, that's all that Wrestle Kingdom week is all about, right?
Yeah,
Not sleeping at all, if not just properly when you're supposed to.
Wrestle Kingdom, Wrestle Queendom, Wrestle Dynasty, and then we got a little bit of Blizzard.
A little bit of a blizzard.
Little blizzard.
You're right.
Right afterwards, we're in the middle of the blizzard. We're actually trying to be ahead of the curve on the power going out, folks.
Yes, we're trying to get this out before our power inevitably goes away this freaking blizzard.
The ice is falling right now, and we're like, you know what? We got to get this review out.
If you've seen the map with the colors, we're like right smack in the middle of all those colors at the worst part. So good fun stuff to end the Wrestle Kingdom week excitement.
Yeah, and even with all the excitement, let's just start it off. Let's just start it off with saying one thing.
Okay.
God damn that Kenny Omega match.
God damn that Kenny Omega match. This might be Wrestling is Her, but we love wrestling in general. So it's hard not to talk about one of the best match of the weekend.
You know what? I could do it, but you do it.
What can you eat? How do you even put it into words?
Give me your verbal essay on why this made you love pro wrestling again.
Well,
not that you ever fell out, but
it's apropos because Kenny Omega is the reason that I fell in love with pro wrestling in the first place. Like, I'm that generation of wrestling fan. So when he left and I didn't know if I was going to see a Kenny Omega match ever again because, you know, he had a life-threatening illness, I was very upset. And hearing that he was coming back to New Japan, debuting back in New Japan Pro Wrestling, I already knew it was going to be special because Kenny doesn't do anything small in New Japan. And a singles match against one of the most popular New Japan Pro Wrestling acts of this generation, Gabe Kidd. And those two, I don't know how this came to be, but Gabe Kidd coming out there in the trunks with the lion mark on the side, and the fans just completely rallying behind him. Kenny Omega coming in with all this pomp and circumstance, like he's the savior of pro wrestling, essentially, and that he's wrestling in Japan, as some people have put it. And the fans were just not here for him. They did not think that Kenny Omega deserved to call himself that, or to come in and like get all their love again, I guess, because he went away. So they come out here and do this match, and it is just a masterclass in freaking storytelling. It is giving New Japan Pro Wrestling a hero, and Gabe Kidd would not have been my pick for that hero a year ago, some time ago, but seeing the way that he got behind New Japan Pro Wrestling through all this, and how angry he got when Kenny disrespected the young lion at ringside, and just his pure heart and passion for the sport, and his call-outs to Shibata and to Antonio Inoki. It's like, that guy is New Japan Pro Wrestling, and Kenny, even winning this match, has molded this story around Gabe Kidd now to a peak of Gabe Kidd is gonna save New Japan Pro Wrestling moving forward.
it's, you said masterclass. And honestly, this is one of those matches that in a decade, 2 decades, 50 years, teachers are going to show their students.
Yeah.
They're going to show them how to do a double turn. One of the hardest things to pull off in pro wrestling.
Right.
It's been done. You know, it's been done when people didn't mean for it to be done. It's been done with famously with Bret Hart and Steve Austin. You know, it's been done.
Yeah.
The subtleties of it happening here are one of the things that makes it beautiful, but it is Japan, so I understand. But I could see, just like in film class, you know, you're going to have the greats out there. You're going to have the films that everybody knows. And this is one of those matches because, listen, it's like everything you said, coming back from Life 30, all the pieces were there. Sometimes there's no way to create these things. Like
it just happens naturally.
You just have to have all these pieces. Now, I do think that Kenny and Gabe got the memo that apparently nobody else got, that there was supposed to be somewhat of a worked friction between the companies.
Yes.
And, in speaking to, we have the, obviously, it's been 24 hours, it's been 12 hours since the show roughly. And one of the co-president has made some snide remarks, about this or about that and about working together and all this, and said, it didn't feel much like there was a competition or, like there was a rivalry. And I'm like, was there supposed to be? I knew that we were doing joint shows, but was there supposed to be a rivalry?
Yeah, we were supposed to be rivals in this,
and
not friends.
Some people had problems with Chris Carlton's, his
the way he commentated this match.
The way he commentated. But then I read that if you could understand Japanese and you heard Milano Collection AT's commentary, it made his seem like a walk in the park.
It's just part of it.
So because people were burned when Kenny left, and they were butthurt, really butthurt.
Yeah.
Like when the Garden show happened. Mm-hmm. But Kenny and the Bucks and them, they sold the Garden out. People expected to see the Elite.
Yes.
They did not see the Elite.
No.
They bought the tickets, and back then you could just say, "Oh, this is going to be one of their shows." It sold out.
Yeah.
It didn't matter what it was.
Yeah.
Sold out. And so instead they got a hell of a show. Mm-hmm. A hell of a show, but not
this show they wanted.
Not that show. And arguably it's been kind of tough for New Japan and America ever since.
Yeah. It's been a little touch and go.
Yeah.
With the strong shows.
So I could see where we could work that. And honestly, we could still work what they're saying right now. Mm-hmm. You could still work that because you could do anything you want right now.
Yeah.
Because that match.
They made it matter.
That match created the hero out of the anti-hero. Mm-hmm. And, Kenny Omega gave them the hero. Now, a lot of people won't see this yet, but they're going to be like, Kenny got booed and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, Kenny gave you the hero that you desperately needed because the hero that they thought they had got booed out of the building on his own. Nobody wanted Shota.
No. Nobody was here for Shota Umino.
It's not Shota Umino's time.
No.
And I think they realized that. But then who do you go to? Well, there's nobody really. I mean, you could go to Tsuji, but, there's a lot of things there. Gabe Kidd is like that natural. Mm-hmm. He's nothing but personality.
Yeah, he's a character for sure.
And, I think that this is one of those moments where two gentlemen have to go their separate ways. Mm-hmm. And Kenny has to go, and they have to take this ball in AEW and make it run correctly. Like this you got to bring him in and let him be like, you know what, hey guys, I'm back, and I'm gonna win my belt. Yeah,
I'm coming back for the belt.
Yeah, so
I'm Kenny Omega.
Yeah, he's got to win the world title, right? At this point,
he's got to save AEW from John Moxley and his goons.
Yeah, that would be perfect.
Yeah,
it's right there. It'd be perfect. Even have him team with Okada at first,
right?
And then they could run that back and have the Kenny and Okada at All In, like
absolutely.
Or even have the Gabe Kidd Part 2 at All In. Really,
yeah.
At this Forbidden Door.
Forbidden Door is gonna be crazy at this point. Like if we continue this story of New Japan versus AEW, I feel like it could be really cool to have the hostility factor to Forbidden Door.
And you see, it feels like there's hostility now. For real. Yeah. So that's beautiful. And if anybody has ever actually been a carny and has ever actually been in wrestling, we love this stuff.
Yes.
Never let
That's what it's all about.
Never let a good crisis go to waste. I mean, in my local level, in East Tennessee, Southwest Virginia, on TV every Saturday, I hope a few of you are listening right now. We had a fight, a real fight. Me and the promoter had a fight, So we turned that into a worked fight, and we had it so loud that it made the newspaper because we knew that all the marks were in the locker room,
right?
And so people could hear it out there. It made the actual local newspaper, and in a big section. So then we drew huge crowds because they thought I was going to take over the Fed.
Right. Everyone wanted to see what would happen.
It really made the newspaper that John Hawkins, my character, was going to take over the Federation.
Right.
Because we were able to work it. We worked a fight in a bar in the middle of a city
That's amazing.
during a show, a rock show, and we actually worked a big bar fight that spilled into the streets. That we had a fan cam,
Right.
that was there filming the band.
Yes.
That called it, and God gave us our biggest, attendance to date at the time.
Right.
So these things
work.
They work, but you have to. Everybody has to. Anybody ever asked me, I would work with guys, and they'd be like, "Hey, that Tony, you guys are really." I'd be like, "Fuck that Tony." You ever say his name to me again in my presence, I'll break your fucking neck.
Yes. The contention sells tickets, but
Yeah.
you have to keep it real.
You have to. And right now, listen, I'm buying a ticket. I'm wearing the shirt. I'm on the front row.
Right.
I'm waving the Gabe Kidd flag. Gabe Kidd, when he took those pants off and he had the New Japan lion.
We're done. It was over.
Oh, and
It's like, okay, I'm sold.
So that's all we had to say at the first of it. Hopefully you guys join us one day for the Wrestling is Her show.
I just want to say, though, Wrestle Dynasty very much felt like a Wrestle Kingdom in the heyday. Like,
Yeah.
Wrestle Kingdom was really good, but Wrestle Dynasty was like, oh my God.
Yeah, it was way better.
It was insane.
Yeah.
And then Tanahashi crying actual tears.
Oh my God.
Following that match, just sobbing at ringside. That just gets you
Wrestle Dynasty, half the attendance, twice the entertainment.
deep in the heart, and I loved every moment of it. But since we're talking about these two shows, why don't we just quickly mention the women that were on them before we move on to our full review of
You mean
Stardom
like
New
treat
Year
them
Dream?
an afterthought like they did?
Well, yeah, a little bit. So Wrestle Kingdom, Mayu Iwatani versus Azumi, they got about 8 minutes to wrestle.
Yeah, it started in the heat.
Yeah, this is about the best 8-minute match you'll probably ever see in your life. I mean, Azumi was leaping over the ring post 2 minutes into the match. That's how fast they had to go. They had to skip the entire beginning part of a normal Stardom match and just go straight into throwing everything at
Which
each
is
other.
what makes a Mayu Iwatani match classic
Yeah.
is the build.
You miss all the storytelling when you don't have that first 5 minutes at least
Yeah.
to build up to whatever you're going to do in the match. But Mayu tried her Fubuki Rana early. She tried a moonsault early. Nothing was working. Azumi was throwing stuff left, right, and center. But it was Mayu Iwatani who came out on top, still the IWGP Women's Champion.
And Azumi made some really interesting comments in the post show
Yeah.
of this, because she said, hey, Mayu-san talked about I don't really belong where I'm at.
Right.
And, I can't, and said maybe I should join Stars. And I reluctantly have to think about that.
It's like, if Mayu Iwatani tells you that you might belong in her faction, you kind of have
Well,
to
she wants
consider
to
it.
surpass her, but I can see so much story here because I could see the thing happening finally where we have Starlight Kid surpass her.
Yeah.
And then, my God, the heat that would create with Azumi and Starlight Kid,
The jealousy.
which we love them together, but we really love them apart.
We do. When they face against each other, it's always...
They are the eternal foes.
It's amazing. So I'm glad Mayu kept the belt. I don't think it would have been right to have her lose it in this kind of a match. Like, I need her to lose it in a very epic fashion.
And listen, let's not bury the fact that the women got on the main show,
They did.
on the main card,
Yes, in the Tokyo Dome.
and they took the handicap that was handed them and turned it into one of the most entertaining, if not the most entertaining thing on that card.
Yeah, that's fair. Mayu Iwatani 2 years in a row on 1-4, just doing her best to get a match into a time period that it should not fit into.
I mean, they only gave Shibata 5 minutes because they're worried that he's going to turn to dust.
Yes.
And that was one of the most entertaining 5 minutes.
Yeah. Sometimes the time constraint works for you. I do wish we had a longer, drawn out, 25-minute Mayu Iwatani IWGP defense.
Listen,
But
we know that in the tournament you get 15.
yes.
Right? 15 would have been fine with me.
Yeah,
It would, because you could have had you can have an epic in 12.
you can if you do it correctly.
8? is
It's
tough.
so hard.
Eight means you're not going to have the slow build. Ooh, I might have twinged that. That's an old injury.
Right.
The storytelling time for even the commentators in,
Right.
in a rear chin or something.
Yeah.
You know,
You just have to go.
You just have to go.
Fit everything
and
in.
they literally started. It was almost like starting at the double down.
Yeah.
It was like
it was fast.
it was like, all right, Jay Watts, go for the okay. You know, it's like Blade Runner time.
But they did the best with what they had. And then over on Wrestle Dynasty, we had 2 women's matches. The first of which was on the pre-show. It opened the kickoff show at 10 o'clock. The International Women's Cup 4-way match between Persephone, Athena, Willow Nightingale, and Momo Watanabe.
Gonna stop you.
Yes.
Gonna stop you.
Yes.
So how often was that advertised for being on at 10 p.m. Eastern?
No, not at all that I saw.
Yeah, not at all.
Until exactly 10 o'clock.
Until it started. I mean, if you looked closely at the fine print on page 412,
Yeah.
column 4 / section D, you would have seen the fact that there is a pre-show starting an hour early. However, this match that they did tournaments
Yes.
in
Put a big focus on.
AEW, in CMLL, in Stardom,
Yeah.
in Ring of Honor. They did tournaments. I'm already hit my wordy dirt limit for this episode.
Yes, they spent a lot of time determining exactly which women were going to be in this 4-way, and when the time came, it's like they made such a big deal of it, and then they just stuck it on the pre-show that a lot of people might not have even known was happening. It's very confusing.
Yeah, lights are all on. It's noon.
Yeah, not everyone's in their seat
Not
yet.
everybody's in their seat.
And I guess I get it. It's not for a title necessarily. It's for a title shot in any company. And I mean, but you could have put something else.
There's
on
matches
the pre-show.
that they came up with
yesterday
that made the main card.
I know. The exhibition match was made yesterday. Very recently.
I mean, I don't remember a big story going into that Brody King match.
No, Brody King, David Finlay was just thrown together. It was a match. But this International Women's Cup deserved more, I think. But the women they went out there and they performed. Like, people were ecstatic about the match itself.
Listen.
Because, of course, it's for the best.
They did what women do.
Yes.
They overcame. They took what was handed them and proved that they belong. Mm-hmm. And that they're probably better at it than the men.
Yes, and the storyline in this match is a bit of a continuation from New Year Dream, which we'll talk about in a moment, but Tekla screwed Athena out of the win by dragging the referee out of the ring and allowed Momo Watanabe to win the International Women's Cup. And then following the match, Tekla and Athena had a bit of a face-off backstage, and Athena said we should fight for the Ring of Honor Women's Championship on January 13th in Stardom.
Dude, when Athena punched her, I mean, it was supposed to be like a shove.
Yeah.
But Athena went after her.
Yeah, I mean, she cost her the International Women's Cup.
I was excited when I saw that because Tekla looked scared, man.
It's going to be crazy.
She did that nervous laugh going backwards.
Right.
Like, ha, ha, yeah, you're back. Okay, you're crazy. You know, she's like, I am crazy.
Don't mess with me.
You know, so.
Oh my gosh.
I can't wait. That's going to be great.
I am looking forward to that. And the winner, Momo Watanabe, decided to keep a secret which title she was going to challenge for. I guess she's still thinking about it. She doesn't know which one she wants.
It's like the virtual suitcase she carries.
Yeah. She got it in that massive trophy.
Is she going to cash in? She walks around with her hand up to her mouth. We know how her whispers are. You know, she'll whisper it eventually. Maybe that's what she whispered in everybody's ear times.
She's like, I'm going to go for this title.
Yeah. In a year from now when this happens, the reason I'm whispering in your ear right now is if you have a title, I'm coming for it. That'd be some creepy.
She's like tagging people.
Wouldn't that be some creepy stuff?
Saya does have a belt now.
That's what I was thinking. How crazy would that be?
Oh, she gets a chance at any belt in any of the
Kamatani woke up
promotions.
last night in sweats, in a cold sweat. She's like, oh my God, wait a second. She whispered that in my ear.
No. She wins that match and Saya just jolts out of bed.
From now on, Momo's a psychic. She comes out like a fortune teller. Why is there not a fortune teller gimmick?
There should be.
The one that they're accurate
The one where they actually are right about the predictions.
most of the time, you know?
But the ones they give are very cryptic and you don't actually know what they mean till they happen.
Yeah, they could give out little cards and you have to like figure it out.
That would be fun.
Even if they gave like in their interviews,
Yeah.
they gave basically like almost like a window. You go up to it like an animatronic one.
Like a Zoltron machine.
Yeah, like a Zoltron or something.
Zoltar, sorry.
Whatever. They go up to it and that could be like the interview segment and you could have her back behind the glass and she'd be like, on the 4th week of the harvest moon, there may be someone coming soon. They're wearing black. Their name's not Jack. They're going to attack. I don't know. I'm on crack. But okay, I told you.
That would be funny.
I told you. Sleep deprivation.
Yes, we're in that mode as we speak.
But I'm having so much fun.
And the other women's match that was on Wrestle Dynasty was for the New Japan Women's Strong title and the undisputed British Women's title, Mercedes Moné versus Mina Shirakawa.
It got all the time.
It got a lot of time, so good for them. And it was not your typical Mercedes Moné match. Like, she was not in control the entire time. Mina really did a lot of work to work over her knee. That was like the story throughout the entire match, and Mercedes was feeling it.
Yeah.
And she really had to fight back from underneath to beat Mina, which she did in this match. She's 4 belts Moné, technically 3 titles, but there are 4 belts.
There are 4 belts. She kind of needs the CMLL belt now, just because.
She's belt collecting. I wouldn't put it past her.
It's there.
Yeah. She can have all the promotional belts.
I'm one of these people, I can't like do 85% of a collection. You know this.
Right. You gotta have the full 100.
You're like, we don't have to have those cards too.
That would mean she needs to go get a Ring of Honor belt too.
Well,
She can take Red Velvet's TV title.
yeah, I mean, she could take the actual title.
She could. I would have no doubt about that.
That is the match I want.
Yeah, we want to see Athena versus Mercedes.
On a big stage.
Yeah, like on a pay-per-view.
With 37 minutes.
Yeah, with unlimited time. Just let them go.
20-minute intros.
Oh my gosh. Athena for me is like one of the stars of this weekend.
Dude.
My goodness.
So overall performance, Athena wins.
Oh, man.
It's always that way though.
It is. When Athena is on a card, it's like, you're going to notice her.
Athena, since day one, out of the box, Ember, Athena always stole whatever show she was given. And her matches, if you haven't went and watched her body of work that's right there waiting for you on Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
It's incredible. She doesn't have half-ass matches.
No, she does not. Even if she's on the first show of a kickoff or opening the main card.
When she was getting buried and relegated to dark, she beat a bitch's ass.
She did. She beat the crap out of her.
She just beat a bitch's ass. And she's just like, and I say that with all the respect in the world, because that's how she would probably say it. But she got noticed.
Yeah.
She made herself noticed.
And then she made the most out of it.
You talk about something to show a class. Class, you can bitch and complain and get on your X and get on your Instagram and all this and complain, oh, hey, I'm on Dark. I'm on the internet show.
Yeah.
Or you can go beat a bitch's ass.
Yeah.
And
You can make the most of the time you're given.
It changes your whole character. It makes you who you are now.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Kenny Omega just did that.
I miss Dark.
I miss
Just throwing
Dark.
that out
Yeah.
there. I really like AEW Dark.
Yeah, I do too.
Those were fun shows.
Just because you never know what you're going to see, and there's a lot of indie talent. And
Yeah, you get to discover new people.
you never
It's
know,
really fun.
never know when one of them's going to try Athena.
So they're going to regret it. But why don't we talk about
Let's.
what we're here to talk about? Stardom New Year Dream 2025.
Yes.
And talk about a card going in on paper that you're like not really excited about.
Right?
It's like there's no title matches. There's no real big stakes. And this is the New Year show, and it feels like there's not a lot happening.
Yeah.
But oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It was all these multi-mans. It was like, is this like a big house show?
It was like a combination of a New Blood and a Cork and Hall show.
Yeah.
But the wrestling, the matches, everyone was like here to play. They were not messing around on this show.
You ain't kidding, sister. This was a big one.
It was massive and long, and they did everything they could to make it the best show of the weekend.
Oh, it was amazing.
So let's jump in. Starting with the pre-show, which had 3-0 matches on it. It was like 45 minutes before the show. They wanted to get everyone on here. And this is where the sort of new blood feel comes in.
Yeah.
Because we started off with Rion and Hanoka, not Hanako, Hanoka,
Hanoka.
versus Kato Mizuki and Yuma Makoto of Pro Wrestling Diana. And Hanoka comes from Pro Wrestling Wave. Now, Rion and Hanoka are the same age, and they had a match on the December New Blood show against one another. So that has now turned into a little tag team, which I absolutely love. Like, they make such a good team together.
Absolutely.
And they were at a significant size disadvantage in this match against Kato Mizuki and Yuma Makoto, who are both big power players. And they really had to use their speed, their drop kicks, and working together as a team to get any sort of hand over these two girls, because they were just throwing them around for a lot of the match. Rion, though, to her credit, fought very hard to stay alive in this match. Even when she was being beat down by Kato, she just would not say die for a vast majority of the match, until Kato Mizuki put her in a Canadian backbreaker and made her tap.
I mean, and again, Rion is always the standout.
She is.
She's always on top of her game and just gets better and better with every outing.
She does.
This was no difference to that. It doesn't matter if she's up or down on the results. I just love seeing her growth and her development.
Mm-hmm. And Hanoka's so smooth.
Yeah, man.
She gets in there and you're just like, this is amazing.
Oh, yeah. Super smooth.
So it was a really fun way to open the show. It was the longest pre-show match, so I'm glad that they gave them a little time to really
get, time to work. And we've noticed that recently with Rion matches, and we're like, oh my God, she really can put a good match together.
She can, yeah. She's really learning how to build a story within a match. Right. It's really awesome. The next pre-show match was Momo Kogo and Sayaida versus Nanami and Lady C. Nanami comes from Pro Wrestling Diana, but she is an official member of God's Eye, so she comes in to team with God's Eye every now and then. And this was just, Lady C got the big swing early on Momo Kogo. Nanami gets in there, and Saida comes in and just chops the crap out of her, as she does, until Lady C has to save her. But Stars tried their best to use their teamwork, as they do.
Yes.
To stay ahead of their opponents.
Teamwork.
However, Nanami was the one who hit Momo Kogo with a Northern Light suplex hold and got the pin for the God's Eye team.
Very much trying to establish new talent, it felt like.
There was a lot of interesting wins here in this pre-show, which I was not expecting. As you would know if you listen to our preview show, we did not pick it this way.
No, we did not. And it doesn't hurt anything. And, it only helps when you give talent wins. It makes them look like they're going to win.
And Nanami has really come along recently as well. Yeah. Like, she's been doing some really great things in the ring. So it's cool to see her in Stardom getting wins.
And we got to see chops.
We did. Lots of chops.
The
final pre-show match was Soy and Zones from Pro Wrestling Evolution versus Rana Yagami and Hina. And this was like a super fun match. Rana and Hina came out targeting Soy's arm really early. There was a point where Soy's throwing forearms, and you can tell her other arm is just bothering the crap out of her because they spent so long in the beginning working on that arm. Rana and Soy had amazing exchanges. There was this forearm spot between them where they're just turning each other in the corner.
Oh, sweet.
That looked like they really were upset with each other. They were mad. They were ready to take it out of each other. Rana did try to end the match with an armbar. It didn't work. So she squares up and she hits Soy with the beat strike, which is a question mark kick. It's her finisher. And she's able to get the pin on Soy for the win.
It was amazing. And, speaking of people who can put a match together, who are getting better, who have been there for a while and just get damn great, Rana. So Rana is money.
She is.
And she just keeps getting that, that something, whatever it is. Rana keeps seeming like, she belongs in this league. She belongs in the main events. She belongs, not yet, but she belongs there soon.
Yeah, you can start seeing it on her face throughout the match. Like if she's frustrated, if she's having a hard time with something, you can tell that she's really into it.
The other that is developing quickly is Hina.
Yeah.
From the time since she's been back.
As a sort of leader in the ring.
She has come from just, oh, hey, it's Hina. She doesn't mess up, but she's not going to do anything memorable.
Right.
To being memorable.
Yeah. She's really put it together in the ring.
New move almost every time.
Yeah, and you can totally see it, the growth between these. Since she joined God's Eye, essentially, her and Lady C have really grown in leaps and bounds.
Agreed.
To new wrestlers with new movesets.
Go, Rana.
So, following the pre-show, we start the main card, and we kicked it off with an international tag team match.
We did.
Tekla and Athena versus Ty Mello and Mina Shirakawa. And the big thing in this match, which was showcased right after they came out, was Athena kind of treating Tekla like her minion, which she does with everyone. It's Athena. She's the minion overlord. So she gave Tekla a minion shirt as she came out with her to the ring. And Athena also seemed to have very big feelings about Mina Shirakawa in particular in this match, but they did not pull any punches in this match. It started out with Athena versus Mina in this arm wringer spot, but in a beautiful, beautiful way. The transitions in this opening spot were so cool. It's like Athena and Mina know each other inside and out, the way they were working together. And then Ty and Tekla get in there, and Ty Mello looks like she hasn't missed a day, let alone 2 years of her career. She out-grapples Tekla. She kicks the crap out of her arm on the ropes. She's in there like she's been wrestling for years and not missed any time.
Ty looked amazing, and I was so happy for her because the self-doubt that must have to come, I haven't got that pleasure to experience childbirth from that side. But, there has to be quite a bit when you've had that much time off. I have experienced that. Mm-hmm. And there's enough doubt that comes in your mind then.
Right.
When something has completely rearranged your body and, taking all your time, your training gets hard to find the time.
Right.
All
you
this
have no
stuff.
energy to do anything.
Right. It's
a lot. It's a big change.
Unbelievable. And then to come in for your first match back, it's in Japan.
On a pay-per-view. In Stardom.
With people you've not worked.
Yeah.
Recently anyway, if ever.
Yes.
But she comes in there and like you said, man, Tom Ella really freaking.
She went.
Dude.
I was so amazed that I was enthralled the entire time.
So many things stick out in this match.
There was a moment where Athena got Mina in the corner and just started screaming at her, "I hate you. I hate your stupid dance. I hate everything about you." And Athena hits this double fall-away slam, and the crowd just went bananas when she did that.
It was like they didn't know. It was like, and there's a good chance they didn't.
Yeah, it's a good chance they've never seen Athena before.
Or very little. And it was all of a sudden, it goes from a lukewarm thing to them being very much into this, and Stardom continuing this new trend of let's start with a hot-ass opener.
Yeah, this opener was insane. So the ending of this match happened when Athena was trying to pin Ty, and Mina backed Tekla into the pin to break it up. And Athena thought Tekla was the one that broke up the pin, I guess. She was just mad that Tekla fell on top of her in general. They start arguing, which gives the other team the ability to kind of take over for a minute. Ty hits Athena with a Gotch-style pile driver that looks gorgeous. But when she tries to go for another move with Athena on her shoulders, Athena rakes her eyes, and while she's blinded, she climbs to the top, and Athena hits Ty with the most beautiful O-face I've ever seen in my life, and gets the pin to win the match.
Yeah, man. It was incredible. In fact, I have a picture now as my wallpaper on my phone. Mm-hmm. If you follow our socials, you already know this.
Yes.
But wallpaper on my phone is a picture that I made black and white of her hitting that O-face.
Yes, just Athena in midair. She's incredible.
She herself.
Ty's incredible.
Athena is cinematic.
She is. She makes everything beautiful.
If I had to describe her, in a word, I would say, Athena, she's cinematic.
Yeah.
And you take that however you want. Entertainment nonstop, action nonstop.
Yeah.
Just everything. She is everything. She is wrestling.
It was so cool because, you're watching the pre-show. It's like, yeah, these matches are cool. We're seeing some new talent. We're seeing how everyone's doing. Then you start the main show, and this just sets the tone for the entire show because you come out with a match this incredible in 14 minutes, no less.
And I like the fact that, Stardom does that. Like, I love the fact that the pre-show matches could not go on the main card.
Right. They're actual pre-show matches. There's match 0.
Yeah. They're, hey, girls, put this together.
Yeah.
You're up.
We're like showing off the new talent, the younger talent.
But then there's some real thought going into these main card matches.
Yeah, I am absolutely loving what they're doing with opening matches recently. It's just like they realize that when you put a hot match on the opener, people are more excited going into the rest of the card because they're not like sitting on their hands the whole time.
This is so good.
Yeah, so good. The next match was very different. It was about 5 minutes long. It was a high-speed battle royal, so high speed is right. And we had Matoi Hamabe versus Kohaku versus Waka Tsukiyama versus Yuna Mizumori versus Saki Kashima. And this was, there wasn't much of anything in this match.
I would like to say that my prediction was correct.
Yes, and it started off with like 2 versus 2 pairing off, and then Saki Kashima just in the middle of the ring, like taking bumps on her own. Because she's hilarious.
So the best thing we could do is just talk about the ladies.
Yes.
So Matoi.
Matoi has shown insane amounts of skill since she debuted.
We were like a broken record.
Yeah.
But we just happen to be in a good place right now where we have a lot of young talent that is developing. And
Matoi's the newest of the talent. She's barely, she's just a few months in.
She is.
And oh my God.
But you would not know that.
No. She's so much more skilled than her years would suggest.
Yeah, she's got the look. She's got the it.
She's got the song.
Yeah,
Matoi.
Dude, she has the song. Bro, listen. She could be walking out in 1978.
Yeah.
All Japan.
Yeah.
And you would not think twice.
Oh, it's a great song. I love a good theme song.
It's a great. We were in there clapping, and it's all good. Kohaku.
Oh God, so good. Smooth.
This is pages of love, but give it to me in a summary.
Well, seeing Kohaku in the ring, we saw it with Tag League when she teamed with Mei Seira, and she comes out of Pro Wrestling Wave, but her moveset, it's like she goes in there and it's just one thing after another, and her transitions are gorgeous, and I just want to see more out of her. Like, I wish I wanted her to win this so I could see her against Mei Seira.
Almost like she was trained by one of the greatest of all time.
It's almost like she was trained by Crush Gals. Weird.
Yeah, it's really weird. Kohaku is freaking incredible.
She's top notch.
She really is. She is an incredible worker.
She is.
So we go from that to Waka Tsukiyama,
who is good fun in the ring.
Always.
She's a delight.
Solid hand. They say the hardest hips that ever hit Xena. So I want to make that quote right there.
The hardest hips that ever hit Xena.
Yeah.
No one will ever know what we're talking about.
Then your girl Yuna.
Yuna! Pine Speed.
Yes.
I love Yuna Mizumori. She has completely changed my mind about her over 2024. She has become one of my favorites, and her work in the ring is so good.
So I think this is a good time to something else that's not match related at all. But the New Year special that we watched, the 5-hour New Year's Eve special.
Yes.
With all the factions.
Where each faction's sitting down and they play a little game or do something together. They get their fortunes told.
If you ever want to know more about the personalities.
Yes.
We watched this strictly to see what they were dressed like in real life.
Yes, what they were wearing and how they interacted.
How their hair was. How they interacted. How they ranked in the luck forecast.
Yes, the fortune forecast.
The fortune forecast.
Poor Micah.
And them playing games to the point that we've decided to buy one of the games that Cosmic Angels
so fun.
Was playing.
The little cluster game.
But Yuna is the reason I bring this up, because some of the girls might seem a little different when you see them in those personality deals, right?
Right.
Yuna is just more Yuna.
Yeah, they switched to the Cosmic Angels room, and they're all wearing like white and gray and very sophisticated and cute. And then Yuna's over here in like bright rainbow leg warmers, and like she's got the tropical thing.
Yeah.
Completely. And I'm like, that's just Yuna, isn't it? It's just her.
It seems like Cosmic Angels all work at a bank. And like upstairs.
Yeah.
Not tellers.
Right.
They're all working upstairs, and then down there on the street is like a vendor of some kind.
A vendor of fruit.
Yeah, on their way into the business that makes their day brighter.
Yes.
And so when they have their lunch break, they're like, you know what? We need to go down to Eunice stand because we're having a crap day.
She's going to make everything better.
She's going to make it all better.
We all need some pineapple juice.
Everybody needs a little Una in their life.
She's amazing.
She is.
Her smile's infectious. She's got those dimples. She's just wonderful. And her ring work she's such a good wrestler.
And her voice is velvet.
Great. Yes.
Her voice is pure velvet. It's just, I love her. I may have smoked 2 packs a day for 10 years. It's not quite to that old school, like Devil Masami kind of, or Jungle. It's it's like, hey, it's like, hey, how you doing? But then we get to the winner.
Oh, the winner chicken dinner.
So Saki Kashima.
She's just, she calls herself low speed, but she is very invested in the high speed title, and she came here to win it today. And you never know. When Saki Kashima gets in the ring, you could lose at any moment. There's no getting away from her.
I
she
love
grabs
that gimmick.
You.
I love that gimmick has not been ruined.
Yeah. Sometimes you can kick out, you can get away. But for the majority, it could end in 6 seconds, and there's nothing you can do about it.
If you see it at the first of a match, I like to think before they build up a sweat, so they can't kick out because it's dry.
Right, she can cinch it in better.
Yeah, you're dead. You're done.
Oh man.
So it was fun.
It was a fun match. Matoe got eliminated first by Yuna, then Waka was eliminated by Kohaku, and then Kohaku was eliminated by both Saki Kashima and Yuna Mizumori, doing a double pin on her. And then Yuna was eliminated by the Kishikaise to give Saki Kashima the win. She did talk to President Okada after the match, saying that she would like him to make a high-speed title match. She didn't want to approach Mei Seira herself and ask for the title match. She was like, you have power. You just make the match, and then I'll show up for it. So that'll be fun. After that, we had the Sendai... Oh, nope, not yet. Sorry, I skipped one. Ruaka and Rina.
How dare you?
Versus Hanan and Manami.
One take Jones, pal.
I'm sorry, I skipped it on my page. I just looked down to the bottom. But Ruaka and Rina versus Hanan and Manami, it was billed as like a New Blood Frontier line match or something like that.
I'm here for Hanami.
Yes, Hanami is an amazing team.
Hanami is the team name. Has to be.
They work so beautifully together, like we thought they would. They just make sense on a cellular level.
If I could somehow get a something in them to pull some of the energy out of the two of them, some of the aura.
Right. And just have that sort of like brightness and happiness in your day.
I could take care of any of the electricity problems in Puerto Rico.
They're so bright and bubbly. And I love them both. And the smiles and the woos. Yes, and everything.
Especially the woos.
I do want to point out that Rina used a cat of nine tails in this match.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Where did that go? I guess that's her weapon of choice now. She's never had a weapon like everyone else in Hate, so maybe she's upgraded.
Comfortable I am with Rina having a cat of nine tails, but
it feels very Sumire Natsu, doesn't it?
A little bit.
But she used it against Hanan and it worked for her, so maybe she's just trying things out. Maybe we'll see her with something different next time. She's like going through weapons, trying to find the one she likes the best.
We can only hope.
But Hanan and Manami did an amazing job. They hit a crossbody dropkick combo off the apron onto the floor. That was really awesome. Then Hanan and Ruaka get in there. Hanan hits the Hanan special. Ruaka kicks out. Ruaka hits the choke bomb. Hanan kicks out. But then the ref is distracted. Ruaka hits Hanan with the black box and a freezer bomb and pins the brand new Goddess of Stardom champion, which I was not expecting.
No, I don't think anyone was expecting this. It was wild, wasn't it?
Both champions lost on this night. Saida didn't take the pin in her match, but the new Goddess of Stardom champions are not starting off 2025 on a very good note.
No.
Which is crazy. Ruaka did hold the Goddess of Stardom championship up So I guess the young hate team is going to look for that title match in the near future.
I mean, one would assume.
So that was just a crazy thing that happened,
I didn't expect
honestly.
that to happen.
Then we had the Sendai Girls Junior Championship match. Chi-Chi versus Aya Sakura.
Hold on a second. I would prefer you take one breath with Chi-Chi and then you can say the rest of the stuff.
Sorry.
Chi-Chi.
Chi-Chi. Yes. Chi-Chi, your favorite wrestler.
Yes, my favorite wrestler. Okay.
Coming in here to defend her Sendai Girls Junior Championship against her current bitter rival, Aya Sakura.
Yeah, man.
These
Been
two have
waiting for this.
At each other's throats, and the tone for the match was set right away when Aya Sakura backed her into the ropes, and then instead of a clean break, she slapped Chi-Chi right across the face. So that's kind of the feeling that this feud has had. They're very disrespectful toward one another. They do not like each other, and they showed it here quite a bit. There was some brawling on the outside early in the match, and Aya kept trying to get her dive off the top, off the apron, and Chi-Chi kept reversing it. At one point, she even hit Aya with a fisherman suplex from the apron to the floor, which looked like it hurt very much. And Chi-Chi was getting a lot of near falls, and she got so frustrated that she went to the top, and Aya cut her off and finally hit the dive from the top to the floor. But the best part of this match, I think, was when Chi-Chi just shoved Aya down and mounted her and trapped her arms and started smacking her across the face.
Yeah, that was something.
There was just so much vitriol
in
this match. I mean, Aya returned the favor.
Yeah.
She flipped Chi-Chi and did the same to her, but that just sums up their entire feud through this whole thing.
It does. It was a microcosm of the entire feud. I agree. And we've been waiting for this, like I said. I mean, and it didn't let me down.
No.
You know, I'd like to see a little bit more.
Yeah,
I'd like to see them hit each other with, bats and stuff.
There were some cool one count spots with like a flying knee from Aya, and then Chi-Chi hit a Northern Lights, and they both kicked out at one. But then Aya sunk in the triangle choke, and Chi-Chi nearly passed out. I thought it was over.
I did too.
She rolled her out and kept it on, and Chi-Chi seemed like she was dead there for a minute, but she did make it to the ropes, and it took 2 backdrop suplexes for her to pin Aya Sakura and retain the Sendai Girls Junior Championship.
And that wasn't it, was it?
That was not it. There was a challenger, and that challenger was Rana Yagami. And Chi-Chi did say, she was talking to Rana, and she was like, I'm tired of the Stardom ring. Why don't you come to Pro Wrestling Evolution, and we'll have the match there? And Rana was like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah, Evo, baby.
Yeah, so that'll be cool. And I don't know if Rana's up for the task of Chi-Chi, but I guess
I don't know.
We'll see.
I love it. I love what's happening with it, and people are getting used to that belt now. And
yeah, I love how important it feels right now.
Yes.
Chi-Chi has made it.
Chi-Chi's all
Very
over
important.
the indies.
She is.
If you will. And
she's working all the time.
Now coming into Stardom, with a couple of appearances under her belt.
Yeah.
I just hope that we
Some
get to
big
see
wins.
a lot more of it.
She got a win on a pay-per-view.
Yeah, man.
Over one of our top young lions.
And listen, the thing I love about her is the passion. She has it in just droves.
She does. You can tell she loves this sport.
She just seems like that girl that's not going to take any crap.
Yeah.
She might come out the Barbie girl, but she is the polar opposite of that.
Yeah, she's not a cute idol wrestler like when shit gets down.
And I don't mean this disrespectful, but in high school, she was like one of the girls I went to school with that would have been taken to cosmetology.
Yeah. She's going to cosmetology school. She's doing hair.
Like those chicks.
Yes.
Were always ass kickers.
They were. They're always scary.
Like always ass kickers.
I didn't go near them.
No, I dated this girl, and she was like, she did that stuff, and like she also like worked at the haircutting place and all this stuff. And I go down there thinking it's going to be a bunch of prissy little girls and all this stuff. And I remember the first
Doing hair and
time
makeup.
I went in there, they were all like, all this stuff, and I honestly felt very outnumbered.
You're like you were walking by a construction site as a woman.
It was like the equivalent. That's when I put that together.
You're like, oh no.
Yeah.
The catcalling.
This is where the female construction workers are.
They're in the hair salon.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with these girls.
Oh my gosh. That's so true. Like one of the high schools I went to had like a room with the haircutting stuff for that class, and I like avoided it like the plague. I was like, I don't want to mess with those people.
Yeah, no,
keep my head down.
They are absolute badasses.
Yeah, they are. Oh my goodness, it was a good match. It was a great championship match, and they did a great job of telling the story of their feud throughout the whole match. So bravo to them on this pay-per-view. The next match was Fukigen Death, Azusa Inaba and Momo Watanabe versus Kyoka Kotatsu, Tomoka Inaba, and Shiri. And this was, of course, Kyoka's debut in the Stardom ring after she came out and sort of saved Shiri at Dream Queendom and asked to join God's Eye. And this was also Momo Watanabe's first of 2 matches of the night. So
yeah, man. That's crazy.
She had to replace Konami, who is hurt at the moment. So she was taking up that mantle. But this was a really cool little look at Kyoka and what she's capable of. She took a majority of the match to kind of show off her incredibly beautiful kicks and
oh my God.
her groundwork. She is obviously very talented at what she does. And Shiri seemed really impressed with her as well, which is hard not to be when she wins the match for your team. The knee bar she put on Fukigen Death at the end of this match was horrible looking in the best way, and Fukigen Death tapped like almost immediately, which I don't blame her because she just got back from injury.
Oh,
so.
yeah. It made sense, didn't it?
It did. It made total sense, and it was really cool seeing a brand new member of the roster coming in here and having such a great debut like this.
Yeah, and I agree with you, man. The kicks are just something else. And I did notice, and maybe just me making storylines in my head, but I'm not sure Tomoka Inaba is just as happy about her.
You think she's a little jealous that Shiri has new friend?
She had jelly on her face. I know she just ate the biscuit. Maybe it wasn't no big deal.
Right.
But this new biscuit she tried, it looked like she had a little jelly on her face.
She's like, oh no,
it looked
she's really good.
It looked like she was wearing a little green.
Well, I think they should remedy that by putting Tomoka and Kyoka in a tag team where they just kick ass.
So then we find out, right? I don't know, man. It just seemed like, because it's weird because Matoi's, recently come in.
Yeah, and she has made it clear she wants to join God's Eye.
But all the girls have been very happy.
Yeah.
They've all been like, oh, Matoi, because Matoi seems like your friend.
Yeah.
She seems like your best friend, and anybody that meets her is like, oh man, we're going to have fun. We can hang out.
Yeah.
She can wrestle. She does good. I'll show her stuff. It's going to be fun. That's not the vibe I'm getting here.
No, it's like Tomoka's kind of like, oh, you're trying to take my spot.
They've seen those kicks, right?
Yeah.
She sees those kicks. Now, what is she? What is Tomoka?
She's
right?
all kicks.
She's all
the time.
kicks. And then here comes.
It's like, that's my
thing. Here comes this.
It's kind of an all God's Eye thing, though.
Yeah, that's true.
It's sort of the vibe of God's Eye.
That's true. They should do like a big. They do like the big team kick, like the big.
Oh, they should. They should develop like a big roundhouse that they can all do together.
Oh yeah, well maybe they shouldn't.
They would kill someone, I think.
Yeah, let's not do that.
But after the match, Azusa and Kyoka got a little chippy with one another. They have faced in the past, so they were kind of reliving that. And Momo and Shiri, of course, got into it because they just do not like each other.
I mean, that's expected.
Yes, they're mortal enemies.
It's like the sun will rise.
Yeah, Momo will fight Shiri.
Right,
yes.
right.
After that, we saw Miyu Amasaki, Mei Seira, and Azumi versus Koguma, Hazuki, and Mayu Iwatani in the final prelude before Mayu and Azumi's Wrestle Kingdom match for the IWGP Women's Championship. So this was, it was one of those multi-mans. They're just trying to get you excited about the big match the next night. And they did that, I think, in this match. There was some really good wrestling out of Mei Seira and Azumi in particular. There was a point where they took on FWC, like 2-on-2 in the match, and they got the better of them, which is impressive considering FWC's tag team status.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But when Mayu and Azumi got in there, they were incredibly evenly matched. They grabbed each other's hair. They were like facing off. But then they just went back and forth with these massive moves and ended up leaving them both on the mat, just completely knocked out.
So as far as moments go,
yes, I know what you're thinking already.
It's one of the coolest things I've ever seen, and they didn't catch it like they should have.
Right, we noticed it right away. Okay, so if you've seen a Stars Trios match with Koguma, Hazuki, and Mayu Iwatani together, they do this move called the Rocket. And what that move is someone from the other team's in the corner, Koguma and Hazuki are standing in front of them, facing each other. Mayu goes to the opposite corner. She runs, they pick her up in an assisted missile drop kick into this person's face that's in the corner.
It's disgusting.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
So they set up for this move on Mei Seira. But before Mayu Iwatani can get out of the corner, Mei Seira comes out of her corner, grabs FWC's shoulders, and launches herself into a drop kick on Mayu Iwatani, which is something I've never seen happen before.
It's so cool because it's like they're an inanimate object.
Yeah, they're just there.
They're like a conveyor belt.
Yeah.
That's going to work no matter who goes into it.
Yeah.
And no matter which direction.
It's like they felt the hands on their shoulders
Yeah.
and they were like, oh, okay, time to go.
Yeah.
But oops, it's the wrong direction.
It was like one of the coolest. It's such a little thing, so quick.
It was.
But it showed so much because it showed the quickness.
Yeah.
It showed.
And Mei Seira's intelligence.
Yeah, her
She's one of the
intelligence.
best.
And she is one of the best.
And then after that, her and Mayu went back and forth with like 2 count spots, but Mayu used the Azumi Sushi to pin Mei Seira right in front of Azumi to win the match. So,
Which kind of made us think, oh man,
them's fighting words. Yeah, you think it's like, oh no, that gives Azumi a really good chance
Yeah.
of winning against Mayu.
But
It was a fun prelude. I mean, it was what it was.
I like the fact that it happened though, because that made it even more like,
Yeah.
there was actually, for me, that gave it more jeopardy
Yeah.
than Azumi scoring a pin.
Yeah, absolutely, because it's like Mayu's got so many wins. How's Azumi going to
Yeah.
answer that? How she's going to be fired up and like ready to go.
Right.
And Mayu might be lackadaisical because she thinks she's got it in the bag.
Right.
If she gets so many wins.
So I don't know.
So, yeah.
It did its job.
I do love prelude matches, like spending a month or more with these people in multi-mans building the story always makes it a much better match in my opinion.
Yeah, this one did its job.
It did. Following that, we had a special trios match where Sayaka Kurara, Natsupoi, and Sariano took on Natsuko Tora, Zap, and Dump Matsumoto. And I mean, it's Dump Matsumoto. She comes out to the ring with her kendo stick. She takes out Ando, the ring announcer.
Yes.
She smacks Daichi over the head, and he rolls out of the ring. And then when they take Natsupoi outside the ring and just start beating the crap out of her, Dump hits Okada with the stick. They're beating on Natsupoi. They get her back in the ring. The bell finally rings, and Daichi comes back bandaged and bloody.
Yeah. He freaking got color.
I was like, what year is this? This is just a continuation of Natsuko Tora versus Micah.
Yeah, no. Daichi got color, and my God.
It was spectacular.
I loved it. I loved it as much as seeing his little picture in the 1994 program we finally cracked open.
We were like, oh, it's Daichi.
Yeah, like young, movie star Daichi.
Yes, young All Japan ref Daichi. It was very cool. But they did take the piss out of Natsupoi for a long time in this match. There was a point where Natsuko Tora was holding Sariano back so she couldn't help Natsupoi. And it was so sad. But when Sariano got in there, she went right after Dump Matsumoto. She was not messing around. She did take the kendo stick quite a few times, but then she, I guess, figured out the pattern or something because she ducked 2 strikes and then kicked the kendo stick right out of Dump's hand. It was the coolest thing.
It was. It's almost like she's used to, I don't know, like she
does this for a living.
It doesn't affect her the same way.
Yeah, she takes it and she's like, yeah. Okay.
Is that all you got?
I do that on a Tuesday for fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. When Sayaka Kurara finally came in, she got a quick near fall on Natsuko Tora, which was crazy. But then Dump Matsumoto starts hitting everyone in the heads with trash cans because she can't help herself. And then everyone starts hitting their own partners. Okay? Poi and Sari hit Sayaka with a double super kick. And then Zap lariats Natsuko Tora. And then Dump comes in and hits Tora in the head with the trash can, which allows Sayaka Kurara to get the jackknife pin on Natsuko Tora to win the match for Cosmic Angels.
Yeah, man. Like, as we thought, but very, very cool.
It was cool. I didn't know if Sayaka was actually going to get the pin in this match, but I was so excited when she did. And she was absolutely not having any of Dump's taunting after the match.
So I predicted that she would pin Zap, but she got a huge pin.
Over a former World of Stardom champion.
I mean, this is a big deal, and it wouldn't be a big deal in most feds.
Yeah.
it's a big deal in Stardom.
It is. Like, it means something
It
when
means
you pin
something.
somebody, even if they took a trash can
They'll
to the
talk
head.
about that in 5 years.
Yeah,
Like-
they'll be facing off. It's like, you remember that time she
Yeah.
pinned all the people in hate when she
Yeah.
was a young lion?
They'll show a little video of it.
She's going to be the
You
savior
know?
of Stardom.
There'll be music. It's crazy.
It is crazy. And following the match, Dump did get on the microphone and invited Sayaka Kurara and Natsupoi to the Goku Aku Fest that is happening on May 25th. And Goku Aku translates to extremely evil. So, you know,
I want to go.
Natsukatora was like, it's not a place for babies like you. But of course, Sayaka Kurara and Natsupoi were like, we will be there.
Yeah.
Just count on us.
We babies are coming.
They're scary babies, okay?
They are. They're very bad.
They will not let it go lightly that all this happened between the extremely evil alliance and
They're the kind of babies that crawl out the window when you're babysitting them onto the scaffold and all this stuff. And
oh my gosh.
it takes you all day and a couple talking pets to find them.
Right. You have to chase them all around the city. They go up on the
Sleep
construction.
deprivation.
Well, we're almost there. We're doing
Yeah.
great. We're getting there. We're in the last 3 matches.
Oh, I'm having a
Gotta
great
hold
time.
out. Following that, we had Chihiro Hashimoto and Yu versus Micah and Hanako.
Team 200 kg.
Oh my goodness. And of course, this was just a complete power struggle. This was 4 big old girls getting in there, using their muscle to overpower one another. And as was pointed out, Micah was the smallest of the competitors in this match.
Insane.
Which is crazy because Micah is one of the power people in Stardom.
Yeah.
And she was having to really work from underneath in this match.
Dude, just having Chihiro Hashimoto in the ring and Stardom, it feels like it should be in every match, every show thing.
It does.
God dang it, she's great.
Yes, Micah faced off with her right at the beginning, but Hanako pushed Micah back. She was like, I want to start the match. So Hanako got to start against Chihiro. There was a point where Hanako actually lifted Chihiro up and put her on the ropes for a big boot, so she was able to get that move over her. But Team 200 kg is just a force to be reckoned with.
They really
Once
are.
they get started, there's not a whole lot you can do. I mean, Micah did throw a desperation Michinoku driver too, and then she just ran into Yu, who just threw her and like tossed her like she was a baby. It was crazy.
More babies.
But there was a power bomb attempt from Yu, and Micah sunset flipped and pinned her in a very, like, Yu was struggling to get out of that pin,
Right.
but Micah was able to just hold her down long enough to get the 1, 2, 3. And after that, she was like, we all need to do this again. This was really fun. We should do it again. And Yu was like, I'm actually taking a break. And so Micah was like, Chihiro, we should have a singles match.
Yeah.
So this is not the end of this little friendly feud.
The Micah Chihiro singles match.
Mm-hmm.
I will walk on water to Japan
Just to witness it live.
for that match right now, where they're at right now in their careers.
Yes.
I want this match so bad.
Like you said, Big Mike versus Big Hosh.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, this is a big deal.
It is. It's crazy. And they shook hands afterwards. They're friends. They're
Oh, yeah.
very respectful of one another. But that almost makes it even better.
It does.
Because it's just all competition.
all 4 of them don't care to kick the crap out of one another. And I like that at times.
Yeah.
And that's
They
just,
really don't care.
just all about the competition.
It was a really great match, though. I was really impressed with all 4 of them.
Me
because
too.
they're 4 amazing wrestlers. So
Yeah, no, it lived up to it.
yes, and Hanako didn't even look out of place, like being as young as she is. She fit right in with all the rest of them.
Now it's time for the that time of the show where we like to go to the strange match.
This is the weird match of the show.
Last time you joined us, you got to see Shiri knock out Konami.
Like 3 seconds flat.
This time we have Tam weirdly taking on Unagi.
Unagi Sayaka in a career versus career sort of match.
Yeah.
Because it was Tam Nakano's name versus Unagi's ability to fight in Stardom. And man, it was weird.
It was really weird.
Very strange. The match was pretty good. It was a good match.
It's good.
They went in there just smacking each other right off the bat. There was a lot of wrestling on the outside, and Tam took like a flapjack and a suplex on the ramp, which looked like it hurt really bad. They sat in the middle of the ring and kicked each other in the face. It was clear that they are not friends at this point in their career. Unagi obviously blames Tam for her getting fired from Stardom in the past in some capacity. I don't know how it was Tam's fault, but she does. And there was a lot of just back and forth, really hitting each other with their biggest moves, trying their best to win this career versus career match. But then the ending came, and it was a little strange.
I didn't like the commentary on this one.
Yeah, it was. The English commentary was
The commentary
difficult.
was very much one-sided. Let's blow Unagi for the entire time and talk about what a bad person Tam is. I mean, that's what it felt like.
Yeah, it's like very much lifting Unagi up for her accomplishments in the freelance world, but also just harping on the fact that Tam Nakano is a bad leader and the reason that Unagi isn't in Stardom anymore. Like, there wasn't any good really said about Tam in this match.
Yeah, and you know, maybe that's just what was in front of him.
Maybe.
You know, but it just was weird because especially the way it ended.
It was a weird ending. The Tiger Suplex hold, the 3 count, but it kind of looked like Unagi got her shoulder up a little bit.
She kicked out at 2.
Yeah, a little bit.
And then there wasn't a whole lot of talking afterwards, was there?
No, Tam just sort of said, it's time for you to go, but if you ever get lost, I'll come out in the world and assess you out there because you can't come back to Stardom. And Unagi was like, I got fired once. Who says I'm going to stay away just because you tell me to? And it's like, that was the stipulation, sweetheart. You can't come back.
Yeah.
So
we'll see.
It was strange. And it didn't end the way I think some people wanted it to, but
yeah, we'll see.
It
I mean,
happened.
like I said, there could be Captain Unagi show up, you know.
Yeah.
Commander Stardom.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't like a Tam main event.
You never know if Unagi's going to show up in a mask or something. So.
It could happen. It's not the same wrestler, right?
If she does, it'll have ears.
Yes, it'll have cat ears. Absolutely.
We've established that. No matter what the animal is in Japan,
Yes.
the mask will have ears.
Yes, it'll look kind of like a tiger mask.
Yeah, a little bit.
But that brings us to the main event.
What do you want me to make, sweetie? I want to be a goat. I got just the thing right here, right? Those cat ears. Goats have ears. Yeah, okay.
It's got horns, see?
Yeah. What about you? What do you want to be? I want to be a mouse. Okay. Pointy mouse ears. They had them fixed like a pit bull. Yeah, I don't know why they do it. I love it, though.
It's a classic design.
It is.
It's very iconic and recognizable.
And obviously a lot of them are laying around.
Yeah, they just have them in the stores or whatever.
They have them for Starlight Kid. They know she's going to need a new one.
Yes.
You know?
There's just have them on.
I have 10,000 of them, yeah.
Any color you want. I just stick the SLK patch on the back if she buys it.
Put a couple different colors on there. It's fine.
So that brings us to the main event. Suzu Suzuki and Starlight Kid versus Momo Watanabe and Saya Kamatani, which pits the Wonder of Stardom champion against the World of Stardom champion. And that was how we started the match, with Starlight Kid and Saya facing off and going into kind of a high-speed start, which we haven't got to see out of Starlight in a while, but it was really cool.
It was awesome.
She's the best at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then Momo and Suzu get in, and it's totally different. They're just throwing bombs at each other. They're just brawling like it's the last thing they're going to do on this earth with one another. Starlight comes back in, starts working Momo's legs. She's looking for the Black Tiger leg killer, as always. And then shit hits the fan. Saya Kamatani pulls Barb Sasaki into Suzu Suzuki's spear, takes him out completely. Momo grabs the bat, starts wailing on Suzu and Starlight Kid. She's taking everyone out. Then Starlight thankfully saves Suzu from the onslaught and causes Momo to kick Saya Kamatani in the head instead of Suzu. Another ref bump, and Suzu has the bat now. She's taken out Saya and Momo both with the bat. Momo rolls the outside. Starlight Kid hits her with an Asai moonsault to keep her away from the ring. Suzu hits her rolling German suplex on Saya Kamatani. The ref gets back in, counts the 3 count. Suzu now has a pin over the new World of Stardom champion, and she makes it very clear of her intentions with that belt.
Yeah. I mean, so Suzu looked really good.
She did.
She looked form.
Yeah, this was like the best of Suzu.
Yeah, she looked really good in this match. Strange stuff, you know, it was a great match.
Yes, I think there were 2 main storylines in this match. One being Suzu getting another shot at the red belt in the future. The other being Momo Watanabe's recent and constant mess-ups in the ring and mistakes that cost her team the loss.
Especially if all the big things happening for Momo right now.
Yeah, because it happened when she and Tekla lost the belts. And now she's caused Saya Kamatani to take a pin, essentially, because she's the one that kicked Saya in the head. And this has been happening repeatedly, and I don't know how long Hate is going to tolerate it.
They've not even acted like it matters.
They haven't.
And, it's really weird because Momo has a lot of big things happening for her. Mm-hmm. Seems like she's costing other things.
Yeah.
Just strange.
Maybe she's so focused on her own singles ambitions that she doesn't lock in team competition like she should.
Even in the big show, on 1-4 or 1-5, she was wearing like white gear, Momo.
She did have the white gear from her IWGP title match, so she was taking that very seriously. Mm-hmm. She wanted to win that International Women's Cup, which Tekla helped her do. But in tag team matches, it seems like she's been a bit of a liability for
I don't
Hate.
want to jump the gun because we've been burnt by Momo.
Yes, we have been burnt by Momo Watanabe's in seeming like she's gonna turn on her team, but she never does.
And you got to think, who has the red belt?
It's Saya Kamatani.
And who just won the match to get the pick a title shot?
It was Momo Watanabe.
But she said it's a secret.
She did. She said she's not going to let it out of the bag just yet. So, I mean, she could, in every sense of the word, challenge Saya Kamatani.
So, in essence, we started the show with one of my dreamscape sleep deprivation fever dreams.
Yes.
Of the fact that Momo whispers
to people who she wants to challenge
a year
future.
ago into Saya Kamatani's ear.
Right.
So that could actually be the thing.
It could be.
Somehow
it connects. I think there's definitely unfinished business between Saya and Momo that needs to play out still.
Yeah.
But it would be interesting if she went for the World of Stardom Championship because we've seen her go for it before and fail to get it off of Micah, so
it'd be cool if they could go back and retcon that horribly overbooked match where we thought Momo was turning.
Yeah, the Queen's Quest 08 time match.
Yeah.
And just redo it completely.
Where it made sense, where they tried to make the new Star Wars trilogy make sense.
Right. They just completely changed
they're gonna
history.
Keep making TV shows until it makes sense.
But this isn't New York, so I doubt there'll be any retconning.
No, there's not going to be retconning.
But that brings us to the end of our review, and we need to talk about our favorite moments of this show. And I think my favorite moment, number one for me, my go out of your way to see it if you haven't seen it match, is probably surprising to some people, but I think it has to be Tekla and Athena versus Tai Mello and Mina Shirakawa, because it's just such a beautiful showcase of what can happen when promotions work together and the match that they are able to put together. And it was an amazing match. I just think everyone needs to see it.
Yeah, and I can't even tell you anything else other than that. I mean, it's the same moment because it was such an incredible damn match.
It was so good.
It was fun, and everybody worked their asses off, and you got to see the dream of working in Japan. I mean, just there was so much to it that I love.
Yeah, it was such a great story match and such a good wrestling match.
Yeah, no, that's
one you can't miss.
That's, if you like moments, that's full of moments.
It is. My second moment would probably be the Sendai Girls Junior Championship match, Chi-Chi versus Aya Sakura, because it's a great continuation of their feud, and it's a great storytelling match, and they're just really good against one another.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that people need to see it.
And listen, I'm also not going to give you something new on this one. You can't go wrong with Chi-Chi.
You cannot go wrong with Chi-Chi.
Yeah.
And my number 3 moment, I suppose, would be that main event, because I think it's going to be important. I think the fact that Suzu pinned Saya Kamatani is going to lead to some big things, and I really feel the Momo thing is going somewhere, and somewhere soon, somewhere fast. So those would be my 3 picks from Stardom New Year Dream.
Yeah, it's
there were so many though.
It's truly hard to it's hard to argue that.
I mean, it was cool to see Kyoka's debut. It was cool to see Dump Matsumoto in the ring. The 200 kg versus Micah and Hanako match was amazing. This whole show was so good.
Yeah.
Just wrestling wise, there was not a bad match on the card.
There wasn't, and there's nothing else I can say.
Yeah,
I agree with you. I mean, it was way better than it had any right of being.
Yes.
And it was my favorite show of the weekend.
Mine too.
So, and that's a good thing.
And it just goes to show you don't need big title matches or any stakes really at all to have an amazing show.
Just good wrestlers and good booking.
Yes,
Imagine
absolutely.
that.
But let us know what you thought of Stardom New Year Dream. We want to know how you felt about all the matches and what went down on this show, and how you felt about Wrestle Kingdom and Wrestle Dynasty and anything else that you watched over the weekend that you feel particularly passionate about.
Yeah, good, like Marigold.
Like Marigold or Sendai Girls. You know, there was a lot going on. TJPW.
We watched most all of Sendai Girls already, and we've watched most all of Marigold already.
Yes.
We will mention those on the next show.
Yes, we haven't. There's been a lot of wrestling, okay?
We haven't had a chance to finish either one, but we've loved what we've seen.
Yes, we've enjoyed what we've seen so far, but we didn't want to talk about it before we get the full picture of what happened.
Right.
So that's it for us for now. Make sure you're following us on all our socials at Wrestling Is Her on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Wrestling Is Her on YouTube. Subscribe, like, and comment on this video. If you're listening to it on YouTube,
do it. You
just tell us your thoughts. We love hearing your thoughts. We love replying to your thoughts with our own thoughts. So that's it for me. I'm Raja. He's John. We will see you next time on Wrestling Is Her.
Bye.